So how are you going to tell whether this is a P or this is a T? Or whether this is a T and this is a P? There is a simple way of doing that. Okay. The simple way of doing that is what? The P wave, by definition, is the first positive deflection. Okay, so remember we're talking about positive deflections and negative deflections and the isoelectric line. That is why you need to have your imaginary line, or you can just eyeball and put your line there. Okay, so the first ever, when your reading begins, you have your lines, you know, your paper this way. Okay, where the reading begins, usually see some horizontal line. The first ever positive deflection, the first one that will go up, that is your P. So that becomes your reference point. This becomes your reference point. Okay, and that is all you need to know. Once you know your P, you know that what follows the P is a Q. The Q is also a negative deflection. The Q is a negative deflection. So the first negative deflection you get is your Q. So this place, because it is below the isoelectric line, it is negative and it is Q. Alright. Then your R comes. Your R is your next positive. So your second, positive deflection is R. Then this one is an S and it is negative. So your S is also your second negative deflection. Okay, and then your T now becomes your third positive deflection. All right, so always make sure you locate your P. All right, now we will talk about their definitions or their properties, the properties of a normal ECG, or what we call the sinus rhythm. Okay, so that brings us to the end of understanding our basic ECG video.